I've been buying budget Casios over the last few months, and this might be the best one yet. Functionally, it's designed for referees, but practically this is a feature-rich watch that anyone can appreciate. It is a sibling of the world-famous Casio Royale, and it costs only $19.92. This is the Casio AE-1300WH. When this one arrived in the mail, I knew it was a sleeper. It is so good and so cheap, and you almost never hear about it. I think its brother, the AE-1200WH Casio Royale, hogs all the glory. They share the same case and bezel, 100 meters of water resistance, and amazing 10-year battery life, as well as orange illuminator backlight. They share a lot of the same functions as well, but differ in a few key ways. Most obviously, the 1200 focuses on world time, as it so proudly tells you on the case, while the 1300 is geared to those who want to track intervals, like a referee or a runner or an out-of-shape reviewer who has too much time on his hands. Let me take you quickly through the functions. On the home screen, you find a day, date, and time, AM, PM, and alarm or hourly chime indicator. 3 subdials at the top. The middle tracks seconds up to 10. The left tracks 10 seconds up to a minute. And the right subdial tracks minutes up to 10. Next, we have the stopwatch. And this is where things get a bit tricky, but once you master it, it's actually quite handy in certain applications. First, we notice that the time is still displayed in this mode. That's pretty cool. That is, until you start the stopwatch. Then you press the bottom right pusher, it begins to move at a frantic pace. So you want to stop the timer and push the bottom right button. But guess what? It just keeps going. Notice, however, that the time in the top right corner has stopped. Essentially, the bottom right corner keeps track of a continuous set interval, while the top right corner can be stopped and started at will. To reset the timer, you need to stop it, then hold the top left pusher until the whole thing resets. You can also set the length of time by holding down the top left pusher. An alarm will sound at whatever interval you set. Now, I'm not a referee, so I don't really understand how one would use this watch, and I'm not sure why you'd want a stopwatch that also counted up to a set period of time. And I don't know why they wouldn't have inverted the locations so that the set period timer is smaller and the stopwatch timer is larger. If you can explain this to me, please leave a comment down below. I truly would like to understand this. Next up is the timer. First, you'll notice that the time is displayed in the top right corner, which I quite like. Mine is set to count down from 10 minutes, but with a quick push of the top right button, you can quickly adjust it from 10 to 15 to 20 and so on in intervals of 5 minutes up to 45 minutes. Now, I can see how this would be handy to have if you wanted to quickly set a 20-minute period or a 5-minute penalty. Next up is the interval timer, and this, I think, is the best function on this watch. Hold the top left button, you can set up 9 intervals, so you could set it to a 20-minute period and a 5-minute break, followed by another 20-minute period, etc. And if you need to pause the time for whatever reason, you can do so with a quick push of the button. If you press the top left pusher and then cycle through the bottom left menu, you can set it to run on an infinite loop, or one single countdown, and then it stops. Next up, we have a world timer, and this isn't an AE-1200WH, but it does have some world time functions. If you cycle through, you will find the standard 48 world cities. So you can cycle through and find your friend Dave in Japan and know what time it is, what time not to bug him. Next up is the alarm. It has one, just one, but it has it. And now we're back to the home screen. The dimensions on this one are great. If you've worn a Casio Royale, you know exactly how this wears. It is bigger than an F91W and is dimensionally not too far off a basic G-Shock Square. And at only 39 grams, you can wear it all day and not even notice. For reference, the metal bracelet AE-1200 weighs in at 93 grams, which is more than twice that of the AE-1300 on rubber. Speaking of rubber, the band is nice and long for large-wristed gentlemen. Sports a rubber keeper and plastic buckle with just enough decorations on the band to provide some visual interest. The case back is a simple steel screwed down affair with all the pertinent info you need, like model number, module identifier, water resistance, and so on. The backlight on this one is a good one, or should I say lights. It has 2 small LEDs in the bottom left and right corners. I just wish you could set it to stay on a little longer. To be honest, maybe you can. I might just be too lazy to figure it out. Water resistance and battery life on this are fantastic for what you pay. Now, no watch is perfect, so I do have some nitpicks. Number 1, it has all these features, but it doesn't have a lap counter. and I know many of you particularly appreciate a lap counter. It's a little tricky to figure out, at least initially. I did say I was lazy, didn't I? And it has these weird gray blobs left and right of the words countdown timer, and I know they're just meant to be aesthetically pleasing, but I just feel like they could have done something different with that space. And finally, it has a raised acrylic crystal. At least I'm assuming it's acrylic. I don't really know. They don't identify it. The problem with an acrylic crystal on this kind of watch is that if it's raised up, you're going to knock it on everything and scratch the heck out of it. So it would have been nice if maybe there was at least a little bit of a lip on that bezel. But really, I'm being hypercritical of a watch that packs so many features in for $19.92 US. It wears great, it's feature rich, it looks good, it's nice and light, and it has an amazing backlight. All of that for $19.92 on Amazon today. And if you want something with a bit more color, you can scroll through and find all kinds of different colors for this watch, from blue to red to even purple. So do yourself a favor and don't sleep on the AE-1300. It is a good one. If you like the Casio Royale, have $20 and want to try a feature-rich sports watch, I don't think you can do much better than the Casio Ref Timer. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Have yourselves a great day.